Good evening. Welcome to the Doom City of Granitegard here on the Guardtower Presents. The Doom City of Granitegard is our weekly fantasy roleplay action adventure. We stream Sunday evenings to the Guardtower's Twitch channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Fridays, we post that to the Guardtower's YouTube channel so you can catch up with all the previous episodes by checking us out there. And speaking of catching up and checking out the Doom City of Granitegard, you can find out everything that has to do with us at our Linktree address, and that is linktr.ee/dcog. One more time, that is linktr./dcog. Yes, that is our link tree there. On our link tree, of course, you can find links to the Guard Tower's Twitch and their YouTube channel, as well as our Patreon, our X, and our Discord. Discord, you can talk to the players and the cast and crew. And you can also find a link to our own website, which is shgtproductions.com. And again, that is shgtproductions.com. And you can find out what we have going on here for season 2. We have 2 brand new shows that we're going to be hosting. One of those is Shifting Realms, which is hosted by our friend Roger. Anyway, and the other one,
he's a ghost.
will be done by our current producer of the show, and that is Jamie. That is going to be the Mask of Caramel. So definitely go online, check those out, and see what those are all about. Season 2 should be pretty exciting there. And while you are watching us, a follow here on Twitch or a like and subscribe on YouTube would be fantastic if you haven't already done that. Helps us grow the channel. We certainly appreciate that there. Tonight, we are going to have some music that is provided by our friends over at Pocket Bard. If you've not picked up Pocket Bard, it's a very easy to use app that you can download onto your phone, and you can get all kinds of music to use during your campaigns and your adventures. You can go from gentle, easy exploration over to heavy-duty combat and need a little bit of victory tunes when your monsters eat the players, so that's always good there, as well as some sound effects. So, yeah, definitely check that out today. Bring some magic to your own table. But I'm also super happy to say that we have a very special track by Raw Vibrations, and his music is called Desert Whispers. And you can find his work at Pond5, and that is www.pond, P-O-N-D, the number 5.com. So check that out today. I think that you guys will enjoy the song that we've got from him. And speaking of checking things out, if you are into role-playing strategy games, card games, models, anything along those lines, anything basically in the gaming style community, you can head over to the Guard Tower and check that out today to see what they have that you might want to add to your own collection there.
I went out and bought this book just now.
I got this guy.
And I think the players are absolutely going to love that. Yeah, so you can head over to the Guard Tower's east location, which is off of Main Street and 270 over in Riddlesburg. Very easy to get to right there off the freeway. Or you can head over here to the brand new west location. You go north on Hilliard Rome Road from 70, make a left-hand turn on Nike Drive, and pull right into the parking lot there of the brand new Guard Tower. You'll have a huge sales floor of everything they've got available there. And right behind the wall that way is a massive floor for you to meet all kinds of amazing people that like to play games here.
You meant down there because we're in the tower.
Yeah, 65 floors up.
That's right. We are in the guard tower.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are.
We're way at the top of the tower.
And we're gone.
Yes.
Wow. Where? Yeah.
My fault entirely on that. So I apologize for the oversight.
We need to.
But yeah, so if you can't make it physically to the Guard Tower, you can always visit them online at theguardtower.com. Once again, that is theguardtower.com. So check that out today. You can find your next adventure there at the Guard Tower. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything that I had to talk about this evening. So let's go ahead and jump into our intro. And when we get back, we'll see what happens in tonight's adventure. We'll see you in a few moments.
Once the seat of economic and political power in the Northern Territories, the city of Granitegard fell in one catastrophic moment of terror and bloodshed. In the quiet hours of the night, the massive granite mesa that served as the city's namesake exploded violently, the debris reducing entire swaths of the city to ruin. Before the inhabitants could even comprehend what had happened, they were blindsided by an army of monstrosities surging from the sewers and into the city streets. The militia valiantly attempted to protect the fleeing citizens, but their efforts were futile against the overwhelming tide of bloodthirsty creatures. And in the midst of the chaos, the city gates slammed shut. turning Granitegard into a death trap for anyone that remained behind the high, fortified walls that had been meant to protect them. For over a decade, it has stood as silent as a tomb, and shrouded in a perpetual mist. No one has entered, and nothing human has ever come out. That is, until now. 12 years to the day since the fall of Granitegard, the Trader's Gate has opened. The news has spread like wildfire across the human crescent. And like a siren's call, fortune hunters from far and wide have been drawn by the possibility of untold riches lying just inside the city walls. Daring the foolish and the brave to risk it all at a chance of wealth beyond their wildest dreams. It has also stirred the interest of old rivals. With no one from the original bloodline to claim the mantle of leadership of Granitegard, plans are forming in the dark. Powerful forces seek to play their games of state, as the lives of everyone in the north hangs in the balance. And in the midst of this all, 6 strangers have been drawn to Granitegard by something other than riches or power. Their destiny is tied to the events surrounding the fall of the city. Each of them must confront the past in order to find a way forward. Each of them must search for answers in the doomed city of Granitegard.
Welcome back. We're going to start off with a quick recap before we jump into tonight's adventure. Vaughn is dead. With an army of 10,000 Concordant soldiers moving south to seize control of the lands of Granitegard, our adventurers have had no choice but to return to the fallen city to seek out the last of the items that Vaughn would need to prove his claim to its sovereignty. Hidden somewhere within the defiled Grand Cathedral, his birth records, and Hengrid's ring were the last pieces that Vaughn needed to fulfill his deal with Preliot Exitoris, the leader of the Antherian forces. Going into the cathedral meant that our party would have to face the might of one of Malacendus's 3 chosen lieutenants, the corrupted bishop. Never before had our heroes faced an enemy that was as vile and as dangerous as the bishop, and they realized very quickly why he was feared so. His forces continually rose back up after being struck down, and an army of undead streamed in unceasingly through the doors of the cathedral. In a moment of desperation, Vaughn took the offer from the entity known as Sin, being that it had been the source of his blood magic abilities. With an incredible surge of power, he was able to penetrate the bishop's shield, going hand to hand with the monstrous mound of flesh. Using a surge of eldritch energies, Vaughn destroyed the support structures that held the teetering bell tower in place. Easily the size of 2 large wagons, weighing more than a dozen oxen, the massive copper bell tore free from its mount in the tower and crashed, splintering wood and stone all the way to the bottom. Vaughn forced the bishop to watch as their doom hurtled towards them, and unfortunately too late did Sin realize the plan that he had. With the final death knell, the copper bell, along with additional tons of shattered wood and stone, slammed into Vaughn and the bishop. In the silence that followed, the trapped souls of the bishop's army were released from their torment. The undead fell in piles of ruin and desecrated flesh. The massive storm of evil that had circled above the cathedral dissipated, and the bishop's soul transferred in to the keystone. And below, our party pulled Vaughn's crushed and lifeless body from the debris. And where our party last was, they had gathered around Vaughn's body, used whatever abilities they had to heal it up to the best that they could. And Mary had begun a ceremony in the attempt to bring Vaughn back to them. You all focus with your heart and your minds on the prayer ritual. Surprisingly, you find yourself adding your own words and prayers here and there, singing softly. Some of you might even be singing a little loudly there, along with Mary, as the patterns of the songs and prayers often begin to repeat themselves in this melodic chant. Without you realizing, the transition occurs. You suddenly find yourself in a nothing, void, an emptiness so complete that it's crushing, yet so vacant that it threatens you to be pushed to the edge of madness. There is no up, there is no down, no near and no far. You look about in all directions, but see nothing but empty blackness. Distance is impossible to tell, as there is nothing to reference. The others that were part of the ritual are here with you. You appear to be standing on the same flat plane, but the surface is totally indistinguishable from anything else. It defies your mind's attempts to even quantify what is happening. It's like nothing you've ever experienced before, like nothing you've even conceived of in your wildest thoughts. The best you can equate it to is the surrealness of a dream. It's weightless. You don't feel the pull of gravity that you've been used to your entire life. Yet you find that you can walk effortlessly in all directions as if you're on a smooth marble floor. No, you can't fly, but nothing restrains you from moving in any direction across this vast, empty plain. What do you do?
Is Fawn in front of us?
Right now, there's nothing in front of you. It's just the emptiness and the members of your party all around you.
What is this?
I think we crossed over.
Died.
Oh,
As you all are speaking, you're actually taken aback for a moment by the volume of the quality of sound. It's as if you were talking in a huge chamber, like with vaulted ceilings. The words are louder than you even expect, almost startling you, making you jump back for just a brief moment there. And then suddenly, in what your mind tells you must be the far beyond from where you're currently standing, the background begins to fill with tiny pinpricks of light. The minuscule yet dazzling sea of stars twinkles as it spreads across the wide, unimpeded field of vision. A sense of wonder begins to fill you, a childlike excitement that you just really can't explain. The constellations form into familiar patterns and clusters that you have seen since you were a wee child looking up at the stars at night. You've never seen them this clear. They're all clouds, all anything that could be in the way is pushed far and beyond. It's such clarity and detail in the constellations. You gaze at the myriad glittering lights, your eyes normally drawn up at first, as you've looked at the sky so many times in your life. And then it dawns on you that beneath your feet, you can also see the same exact thing. A horizon has formed now that you've noticed the sky above meets the sky below, far, far, and possibly far in the distance from where you are. Every star above is reflected perfectly, yet your image is not reflected in the emptiness. Your body doesn't appear to be blocking the stars as if you're not even really there within this space. What are you doing?
I just gotta be sure. Are y'all seeing this as well, or because I was a little bit concerned. I know.
You're not crazy, Reverend.
Oh, I know I'm not, but I thought, maybe one of you tampered with one of my potions and drink.
No, well,
We
no,
really did.
but that's not. We're all seeing this. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's comfort in its own way.
Where's Vaughn?
We don't see Vaughn?
Nowhere around you do you see Vaughn. This is nothing like you read it would be in the text. Then again, all the accounts that you had all seem to be very different.
I gotta be really honest. I skimmed the book. Was this supposed to look like this?
Well, every account I read was different from each other, but I didn't read anything like this. This is new for me.
Seems like reading doesn't always help.
Are we dead? Because I feel like I would have remembered that part. I think I
don't
was.
I think we died. No.
Seems fairly clear that touching the divine.
Oh,
And with that,
yes.
a bright light begins to glow just at the edge of your vision.
Not done talking.
White, pure, like nothing you've ever known before, it intensifies, forcing you to begin to shield your eyes with your hands. When your hand isn't enough, you must squint your eyes to avoid being overwhelmed by the magnitude of the brightness. At no time does the light cause you pain, but merely it's more than you can take in, overloading your sensories with its greatness. Reverend, you are the first to open your eyes, and as you do so, you hear something in the back of your mind that freezes you in place. Words that you heard long, long ago. Do not despair, my child. Your prayers have not been in vain. When you asked to be something more than your station, not have to know hunger and cold, I felt your pain. Today, you've been blessed with a gift. Satisfy you with more than just worldly possessions, but how you use it will determine the fate of many. And suddenly you are transported back to that day when you were 9 years old. You can feel the crispness of the winterberry wheat of the field, sitting on your knees, tears streaming down your dirty cheeks. In your hands, you clutch the book that you've stolen from the Arendelle estate. You cannot read it. You want so badly to be able to read, to be able to understand the words, to not have to be uneducated and lonely. And then you're back in the Vale, on your knees, your cheeks wet with tears. And behind you, you hear another voice. Alric? Alric Canterbury? Well, that's holy, I did not see you here. And as you spin back around, there stands a tall, thin, stern-looking man of about 60 years old. His eyes seem to stare past your walls in misdirections, just as they always had. And beneath that rather stern-looking veneer, you know that he is a kind and patient man and was always eager to share with you his knowledge, his insights and observations about the broader world that you had only just begun dreaming of exploring. You recall his dry humor and his wit as he used to sit by his fire at night in his chambers as he taught you how to read, never raising his voice when he made a mistake, always encouraging and patient, praising you when you did well. You even recall his tales of being a charlatan back in his younger days, before becoming a member of the church and repenting of his ways. As a matter of fact, those were always your favorite tales that he would tell you, and the ones that you seem to have taken most to heart when Brother Bartholomew steps to you and, Alec, look at you. You are not the young man who left us so long ago.
Are you real?
I have passed on, and now I'm here in the Vale. I am no longer bound to my earthly coil, and I can see that you still bear a tether. So I'm assuming that you've come here for a purpose.
Well, uh, yeah. You see, our friend, he very brave and noble, but not that bright. He went and sacrificed himself to save everyone, and well, I guess we was kind of wondering if we could ask real politely to get him back. I'm not really sure how it works. We didn't go over this sort of thing when I was at the monastery, or if you did, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Unfortunately, you didn't stay around long enough for us to really get to that part.
Yeah, about that. I'm sorry.
Well, as far as I can see, it looks like you have been on a very interesting path. But I do say it seems that you seem to be turning a new leaf as of recent. The younger man would have certainly not risked coming across the veil to ask such a favor. So
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of a dummy now too.
you were never a dummy, Al. You were a bit confused. Your life was not the easiest, and it would not be out of the question to want the things that you wanted. But I'm hoping that what you have seen has taught you that there is more than just that physical reward, this tangible, quick, easily taken mortal world that you were in.
I have to be honest, I'm pretty confused right now.
It is good to see you. Unfortunately, my time with you is short, but you were touched when you were a child by something great. You were chosen. Please bear that in mind.
Brother, I gotta tell you something that I never told anyone before. I know I've done some things I'm not too proud of, but every time I've been in, make a little coin. You and I don't have to talk about how I make it, although on account of you're here, you probably know. Because you can watch down on me from on high, or however that works. But I need you to know that I didn't keep a lot of it. I give it to the orphanage in every town charity because I sort of feel kind of guilty sometimes when I steal from folks. If they're rich folks, I don't feel that guilty, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess
You don't need to make excuses out. There's a good man in you. Unfortunately, sometimes you tend to lean more towards the selfish side of things. But you are a good man nonetheless. You should never forget that. I ask, while you see what's before you here, that you consider everything. You will be forced, it's incorrect, you will be offered a choice. I pray that you will make the right one, but before we go, there's one bit of insight that I wish to share with you. One more memory that you don't even realize that you have. And as he steps back, a mist sort of obscures you. It's not smoke, it's not moisture. It just clouds your vision for a moment, and then you can see yourself looking back to when you were a younger man. This must have been maybe 4 or 5 days after you left the monastery. Unfortunately, you gambled away the food and the money that you had on the first night, so it's been several days since you. But you are sitting by a nice warm fire on the edge of the road, and out of nowhere, a man appears and asks to sit next to you in your fire. Seeing as how that you don't have food or much else of value for him to overtake, you think that this might be an opportunity that could reward the two of you. And he sits down, has a very pleasant conversation. You find out he himself doesn't have any food on him. Most disappointed, but the conversation is good. The arrangery type of individual keeps himself very covered. And as he begins messing around with something, he produces several berries in his hand.
say, hey, what is that?
These are good berries. Would you like to try one?
You mean what do you mean that they're good? Like they taste good, or
Oh,
they're good for you?
you'll certainly enjoy these. They are very good for you. Unfortunately, it's not one of those things that we can enjoy too many, but I do believe one may be enough for you. Once you try that.
Can't eat too many. Like, are they intoxicating?
Well, no, they are enjoyable, but I can do a limited amount of magics. Would you like to see that again?
Yes, I would.
And as he begins to wave his hands about, picks up several leaves of grass as he does so, and as he covers them and opens it back up, he has another set of berries and offers you the two.
You would you share these with the likes of me?
Well, it's a cold evening. We both need something to eat. I think this would take care of us until the morning. We can have one now and then one in for breakfast. How about that?
Very small. I can't be that filling.
Why don't you try one and then tell me what you think? And as you chew it, you don't. It tastes.
It's amazing.
It is, and quite filling. Would you say?
It's a good berry.
It is a very good berry. Well, it is late. I do believe that we should probably turn in. If you don't mind, we'll take the first watch. You're welcome to sleep while I keep track, and then I'll wake you up in shift. Or if you don't mind, I could do us off first, and then you can wake me when it's my turn. What do you say?
Pretty sleepy. You take first watch. That's all right. But first, I never got your name.
You can call me Al. That would say.
All right then.
Very well. And to bed you go. Shift changes off. You do your watch, and unfortunately, towards the very, very early morning hours, you doze off. You're not quite used to keeping shifts. You've mostly been sleeping on your own. And when you do wake up, you see that he has left camp. He has set a fire for you, so he stoked it back up. There's been wood applied. There's also several cut cords next to it. You look down the road, and he's just about ready to disappear over the top of the hill. And you see next to him a large white tiger or lion of some nature. And then off into the distance he goes. And then clouds drift back over your eyes.
Brother.
Anna, your nose picks up the memory of
I'm so
Sandal.
sorry. I'm sorry. Wrong accent. Brother Bartholomew,
He's
before
gone.
you go,
He's gone, and the mists have taken over.
You need to show him that cool coin trick you had.
Anna,
water them turks.
your nose picks up the memory of sandalwood. It's a warm, ambery sweet scent that transports you to another time and place. You're moved at how certain smells can trigger the remembrance of people or events. And your eyes are still closed from the bright light. Your breath, you breathe in deeply, mostly trying to reassure the notion of the source of those old emotions, the thoughts that fill your head of the. As the light fades, you open your eyes and your heart quickens with a rush, like the excitement and joy that one gets when they are returning to a loving home or the comfort of friends. And you stand on the sand covered, scuffed boards of the training room. You immediately recognize the wooden and straw practice dummies, which you spent so many hours rehearsing your fighting moves. The racks of old, worn leather armor and steel breastplates on stands just to one side. To the other side, a variety of weapons stand in their housings, up and along the walls, and some of them are in barrels, the cheaper practice weapons there. And it's all just as you remember from those days that you spent training for the fighting pits in Greenspan. Oil lamps hang from their places on the walls, but the room itself is lit by a warm beam of sunlight that streams through the skylight above. You bask in the glow of the sun, marveling, just as you had done back in the day, how in the frigid north, a single beam of sunlight like this could warm you so. You're broken from this blissful memory when suddenly you're seized from behind. A man's powerful arms wrap around you in a bear hug, and it squeezes tight, almost forcing all the air out of your lungs and lifting you off the ground.
Oh my gosh.
Before you can even react, your combat instinct kicks in, and with a swish move of your elbow and a kick of your armored boot, you hear a oof from the gentleman that is holding you, and he quickly releases you, and you spin around to see Cyprian, clutching himself and gasping for air a little bit, but a large smile still on his face.
Taught me that.
Absolutely, I did, young lady. And he begins to laugh. He actually clutches his belly, and it just fills with his laughter on that. And that's fantastic work, much like we trained, although placement was slightly off. Remember, center.
Center,
You
that's
don't
right.
bounce off the leg
Always
and take
pull
some
to
of
the
the
left.
momentum.
Yeah.
Yes, well, my God. Cyprian is choked up for a moment, and
It's so good to see.
he is still this massive mountain of a man. Somehow you had thought that maybe you had grown a wee bit between here and
I
there.
was pretty sure I
But
had,
he's still
honestly.
towers over you, like just like a cave bear more than a man. He's covered in hair and still as usual, but you know, it's still Cyprian, just as you remember him
Oh, it's so good to
from
see.
back in the day. And he smiles back at you. He's like, I missed you, girl, and gives you another hug. And this time you do fall into his embrace on that. It's very innocent, more than a mentor, almost like the father that you missed that was taken from you when the city fell, when your father became more of a shell of a man. Like, I missed you, girl.
I missed you too. How are you here? Lawrence?
Well, I'm here because I'm dead.
No.
But it's all right. I am so glad to see you. You're not a girl anymore. Look at you. You have become a fine warrior. I knew you were destined for greatness. And as he said so, you're taken back by a moment. A memory hits you again. Something you've not thought about at this point. Oh my goodness, 8, 12 years could it be? When you transition from the destitution and hunger and hardships from the mines to the luxury and splendor of the Hastings fighter stable, you were overwhelmed, taken in by the grandeur of that, and you don't you didn't think of the words that he said until this moment in time. And you can remember standing there that first evening when the guards brought you in, bound in chains, still dirty from the mines itself. And Cyprian looked at you with a big smile and says, I've been waiting for you. And unlike the other gladiators, you were trained solely by Cyprian himself. He was your teacher, your mentor, again, very much like the father figure that you were looking for. And then you're pulled back out of that memory, Cyprian again before you, and you are very special, Anna. It was the reason that I trained you to be a paladin and not just a sword arm, but to be a true paladin. To reach your full potential, you must believe in the source of your abilities. These powers that flow through you, they come from the one God. Embrace this and give yourself into it, and you will be so much more. This time, these events that you're experiencing, I hope you don't still believe that it was just blind luck or the manipulations of some purple suited dandy.
How do you know, though? How do you know?
I've been watching. I've been looking in on you. I have been graced to allow to do so. I dreamt about you the night before they brought you to me in shackles. I heard that voice that I thought had long forsaken me due to choices that I made in my youth. And when they brought you before me, I knew there was a reason. The one God is merciful, which is why I'm here before you now. Anna, you must be strong. You must honor your vows, and you must purge this land of the evil of Melisandus and Nemicus. That is your purpose. Shine true in the darkness, hold fast to your faith, and the one God will see you through. He leans in again to give you another hug. And as he does so, mist descends upon you. Echo. Hey,
Hi.
hey. You hear a small voice calling from you from the grass.
Oh,
And when you look down, over here, you see a woodchuck.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
it's Mavis. Hey.
Hi, Pavis.
And as he steps out of the grass, he becomes Pavis once again. And he gives you a hug. Hey,
Hi.
I missed you.
I missed you.
I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
It wasn't your fault you got laid.
Yeah, that wasn't very fun. But I do remember what Mary told me. She told me that if I asked the one God for faith and strength, that he would see me through it. And I didn't talk. And now here.
You're very brave and very strong, Pavis. You deserved better, but I'm glad you're feeling good.
I'm feeling very good here.
Good.
It's different. It's very different. I
Yeah.
didn't even ever take baths here. Not that I ever took baths before, but I don't get dirty. It's
Sounds
nice.
nice.
Yeah. How's Sky?
She's good. Is she here?
No, I don't see her. But you are so beautiful. I didn't know. You see him staring at you just with this look of wonder and almost awe, and he reaches up and kind of pulls a little bit on your shirt. And can
Oh yeah, Ward gave it to me. It's nice.
you come down to me for a moment, please? And you can feel him kind of guiding you down to your knee.
Sure, sure.
And as you're standing face to face with Pavis, and while he was a young boy of about 10 or 11, probably because of the malnutrition and stuff, he was certainly shorter than he should have been. So getting down to his height does require you to pretty much go down directly to your knees. And now that you look eye to eye, and he reaches out and he touches your face a bit and reaches up and touches your ears. And your true nature was hidden so well. I was told that if Melisandus knew your flesh still remained under this disguise, that she would stop at nothing to destroy you. But I'm so excited that you're here and that you're going to stop her. And I believe in you, Echo. And just you will stop her. I believe in that.
What do you mean by true nature?
I can't tell you more. You've been hidden for a reason, and it will all make sense. But I I don't really understand a whole lot more past that. I'm really sorry, but it's just. And he gives you a big hug. And I just, you know, I've watched things that you guys have done, and I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
You've been able to climb up over everything.
Yeah, well, maybe not this. Um, Pavis, I don't know if we can defeat her without Vaughn. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, Vaughn, Vaughn's gonna need your help,
Okay.
but I don't understand how all that's gonna happen. But I think because you guys are here, you'll be able to help, right?
Yes.
Oh, you do what you can to make him better, I guess. If he's got some bad things going with him.
And a lot of good things too.
That's right, he's got you. And as he says that, mist begins to descend around you now. Yip yip. Each and Damon. The mist pulls back from all three of you. And as you stand there, there's a man that is sitting on, looks like a fallen log. Doesn't seem to be much else around but this log where he sits. His dress looks to be quite fancy. The outfit, the attire that he has on, his looks are very distinguished and incredibly familiar about it, but you can't exactly place what it is. And he looks to the three of you. None of you know me, and I do apologize that I'm the one that must speak with you. But I will be helping you and guiding you as you seek to bring my son back. But before we do so, I must communicate some things to you, and they may not be comforting to you, but are things that you need to hear. And I will start with you, daughter of the dragon, the last of your kind. By now, you've heard some of the truth behind where you come from. But you are not a kobold in any way, shape. You are of the line. You are a true descendant of the 12. And when your alpha mother told you that it is your responsibility to care for the kobolds, it was as the guardian of them, and not as an alpha mother to attack. But unfortunately, again, you were kept a bit in the dark on these things, as if Malicinus had known, you would have been in great danger. I am sorry such a burden has been placed on you. But again, as with all your companions, you are one of the chosen. The battle that you will be fighting will affect everyone in your world. Have faith. Your friends will aid you, and you will aid your friends. Be well, child.
They will.
Damon. And I call you by your new name, as you are not your old self. The one known as Dante is dead. Dead and gone. He drowned in that river that swept him away. And out of those cleansing waters, you emerged, born again as a new man. It's time you let all pain of your past go. Shed the guilt, shed the fears. You don't think I don't think you have lingered in the shadows long enough. Leave that old life behind. And like all the others by your side, Again, you have been chosen for a higher purpose because you are one of the few that can bear this mantle. The love and family that you so desperately have been longing for, I have been standing right next to you this entire time. Don't let that gift slip away. Seize it, fight for it, and renounce the shadows. I pray the best for you. I hope you will heed these words. And Siki, Goblin, what are you? Well, I can tell you what you are. Born to a clan of vile, evil creatures. Rejected and scorned even by your own type. Alive only because you possess a very rare natural talent for tinkering. Your clan brought low, but sworn to serve the Dark Queen. But you have risen above all this. You've risen above your nature to risk your life for your new clan. You've earned the honor of a noble knight, enough to be sworn as a knight yourself. You branded yourself to my son, share his burdens and his pain. I will never be able to thank you enough for that. So, you've also done what no goblin has ever done. You shed tears. Now I ask you again, what are you? Well, I would say you have been chosen by the one God. You are more than you even know you are. And I pray that you will hold on to this moment and let it be your sticking place for courage in the challenges that are to come. For they will be great. And I can assure you, for you, Skeech, they will be costly. And at this point, he steps back a bit, and the mist begins to descend upon the three of you. Tarquin, you're a young man. Your home has been destroyed. Fires still rage all around you. You're confused, you're hurt, and you're lonely. And out of this chaos comes a man. Fierce warrior. You see him slicing the enemy down, risking his life to battle his way over to you. Exotaurus. And while you have thought of that night many a time, you've always repressed the memories of what that night actually meant. During the entire battle, you were the only one from your village that survived. Now you were placed into Exotaurus's hands. And you hear a voice in your head. The same voice that you became a paladin. You have done well, Dark. Your faith has been an inspiration. I ask you to continue in your way, for your people will need you. Great warriors cannot stand forever, and one day you will have to bear the mantle and pick up from where Exotaurus leads off.
I hope no day soon.
None of us are allowed to know the days that we have left. Keep your courage and keep your faith.
I'm just gonna kind of hold up a hand as I kind of take stock.
As you do so, you feel as if a palm is pressing up against that hand, warm and comforting. You will always have me by your side, son.
There can be no rest, there can be no peace.
Do not let those thoughts cloud your judgment. You are a man of justice. Remember this. And for you, the mist begins to descend again. Mary. As the mist pulls back, Paladin Crasslor stands before you. It is not the Paladin Crasslor the last time you saw him. It is a much younger Paladin Crasslor. His armor in its full glory, his beard still a bright fuzzy red. Large smile on his face. Remember when you were a child and he would toss you up in the air and catch you, and he smiles down on you and spreads his arms wide. Hello, my little Pippin. Come over here. Pulls you in for a big hug. I'm sorry that my time with you will be very short. My tether has not been broken to this earth. So, I was allowed a bit of a reprieve from my earthly torment to be with you.
What can I do for you?
Mary, the time will come when you can do something for me. But right now, I need to prepare you. You looking to bring your friend back. To do so, you'll be asked to carry a burden
Anything.
or maybe a favor. Something be struck. Vaughn is important. This is very true. His sacrifice was noble, but there was a deal struck with the force of evil. And for that, you will need to parlay for him.
How do I do that?
You will know here shortly. But
I don't have to take that creature on myself, do I?
what has become of me, you mean? Or sin? Or what are you looking at? Because I unfortunately have become one of her creatures.
So I've been told.
But listen here, if you're the one that strikes me down, do know that you are putting me at rest. And harbor no guilt about that. In fact, know that I would almost be honored if that was the case. You have been brave, and you have been strong, and I knew that my child was amazing because, well, I'm your father. No, mostly because of your mother. You carry so much of her with you. I am so proud of you. But, again, the cost for what you all will do will be high. Keep your faith and keep your friends close.
Is there no way for me to save you?
Unfortunately, with what has been done to me, I don't believe there's a way to bring you back. I have been irrevocably damaged, I think.
But I can save Vaughn.
I believe that you shall. And he pulls you in for a tighter hug. You can feel him rest that crinkly beard on your cheek there. The mist descends about you again. Vaughn, would you please rejoin the table?
That was easy.
For you, Vaughn, you've had no record of what time has passed. Has it been seconds, minutes, hours, weeks, years, eternity? You have no way of knowing how long you have been here. It has been over and over and over in your head, your failures and your shortcomings and things you could have done different, should have done, different memories that flash in your mind. And you could hear that nasty, vicious, angry voice of sin chiding you, telling you that you betrayed him over and over again. You could have been my avatar. You've given you everything you wanted. You could have taken the seat of guard.
I thought I would have left you behind.
You,
But I see I will be tormented here forever.
oh, that's part of the deal. That's part of the power exchange. I get to keep you.
Treat me like a plaything. This is how you shall spend your time.
You're immortal. That's how it goes.
Is that still accurate?
Well, I guess we'll just have to find out. We have a long, long, long time to find out. You and every other fool that has taken the offer. And at this point, Finn appears before you and he waves his hands, and all about you are the countless souls that he has soul power to in their own torment and agony, reliving terrible, terrible memories over and over and over again. And this is how you will spend your eternity.
Is there like a gradient to like those who are closer to Vaughn, like not being like they're like still with it, and those further away from Vaughn being like, is there any difference between what they look like? Can you tell how long they've been here based on what they look like?
As you look about through the crowd about you, since you don't really have a reference, I will allow you to do an insight check. Let's do that. I think that'd be the best way to handle that.
Exactly how Vaughn starts his afterlife.
Questioning everything.
Could be.
I gotta know the facts.
Yeah.
7.
A 7.
No.
Here are some.
It just says you're dead.
At this point, you're almost overwhelmed trying to take all of it in. It isn't that you can't rationalize at this moment, it is the volume of souls that this individual apparently has harvested that overwhelms you as your mind is reeling that how could he sell power to that many creatures? And there are all kinds of creatures. There are humans here, there are elves here, there are dwarves here, there are dragons here, there are kobolds here, there are all manner of creatures, gnomes, even beings that you don't even recognize what they might be.
It's a cicada.
Well, am I to be some prized possession put up on a shelf? Seems you have quite your fill here.
Prize possession. You're a great disappointment. You're no prize.
Then why do you worry about me any longer?
Oh, because I intend to make you suffer for not fulfilling your end of the bargain. I gave you that power.
And
You
what did
got
I
yourself
agree to?
killed 3 seconds later.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I have to say that was quite crafty of you on that. And while I respect your double crossing, I'm going to make sure that it is quite uncomfortable for you.
A question, if I may. When you're focused on one individual, like myself, how fare these others?
How fare the others?
Right. If I keep your ire on me, will it be less for them?
Oh, there's enough for me to go around for all of them.
You're
At
quite
that
full of
moment, he
yourself.
says that every image of these individuals that you can see begins to writhe in agony as he's still talking to you directly. You don't really understand the other side. That's right, you're not a religious man. There is much more to your plane of existence than just the physical. You didn't think this side would catch up to you?
I will admit I thought I had more time.
Oh, dude, isn't that amazing? This one here thought he would have more time than the Thresh writhing in agony.
Oh.
Oh, you know that one. Yes, that's
I
true.
think there'd be like an immediate sense of attempting to like bridge that connection between Vaughn and Thresh again to see if there's a way to like just build it again, connect. Like he's trying to do that same meditative thing because it would almost be second nature to try to like take on some of that or connect with Thresh. Is there anything there?
No, because I won't let you.
Can I move?
Oh, absolutely.
Vaughn rushes over to Thresh.
Every time
attempts to,
you
like,
take a step, it's another step away, and another step away, and another step away, and you run faster, and you run with every bit of passionate energy that you can muster, and it is always, for every step you take, one more step away. And the laughter from Sin keeps filling your ears, the joy. Keep running, keep running. You can kid him, I'm sure you can. Keep going, Vaughn, keep going.
He stops. And he adds this to his mental Rolodex of how the rules work here.
Keep on trying, Vaughn. I get to change the rules anytime I want. Maybe sometimes I'll let you catch Thresh. Wouldn't that be exciting to torture the two of you together? I'm sure we could do some wonderful things. Maybe have him pluck your eyes out. I'm sure that'd be just as terrible for him as it would for you.
You seem to have thought about this greatly. You seem to be showing your hand. You seem to be quite upset. I've disappointed you.
Oh, I live for this. This is what I do. Every one of you that I bring down here is one less for the other side. Quite enjoyable, don't you think?
It's a scale, then. That's what you see this as.
No.
Collecting points, bringing home some type of victory just for your collection.
That's eternity some way.
Well, if we think about it that way, then you have me, yes, sure. But the rest of them walk down of that building. The rest of them will succeed.
Oh, I don't know about.
And you would be like a wry smile because no matter how powerful this entity thinks, Vaughn knows in his full heart of hearts that yeah, it definitely worked exactly the way that I anticipated, and they all got out of there and everything's fine. I'm definitely not going to see them again. That's really good. Feel really good about that.
Smack cut. Hey, Vaughn. Buddy.
Oh. If you can hear me.
As you're communicating with Sin, veil lifts for the rest of you, and you can see Vaughn and Sin together speaking, as it is obviously enjoying tormenting him.
Vaughn's got his like hip kicked down to the side and like a hand out, and he's just like trying to like calculate what is happening here, and is like essentially like trying to almost like manifest some type of like offensive, like, okay, if this is my eternity, I got to think of some good rip. Like I got to come up with some good stuff here.
I bet he's talking about bird law. That's his bird law stance.
Pay this attention.
Yeah.
What do we say?
As you all are having your interior conversation,
A spoonbill.
the cloud that had blocked your vision before circles about you. This time it circles about Vaughn and Sin as well, trapping you all within a bubble, so to speak, inside that mist. And next to you, that you can see, is Varen. You do not see Varen. You do not see Varen. The rest of the party, Varen is back. Now, you all, actually, it's Damon, Skeech, and Yip Yip know that who Varen is, but for Mary,
Oh,
Anna, Echo, and the Reverend, you're not sure who it is that is standing next to Skeech, Damon, and Yip Yip.
Who's that?
Who the heck is this guy?
Vaughn's dad guy.
It's Vaughn's dad.
What?
How do you know Vaughn's dad?
We kept saying my son. He didn't introduce himself, so I called dead guy.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I am Baron Galen Master, and I need to ask you all to petition for my son to return to complete his task with you. Sin will seek to keep his claim on Vaughn. It will be an ordeal for you all to bring him back. But I ask that you now try. And as he does so, he steps back into the mist.
Oh.
And Sin is there and
Hey,
turns over to look at the rest of the party. And at Vaughn, you can see them at this point. It hisses.
I can see the party too.
You can now see the rest of the party.
Oh,
stupid.
what was I thinking? What are you thinking?
Had the
It's
bombs
funny.
ready, and then the tower. I didn't even get to see him go off.
Oh, you had the same idea.
Well, yeah, but I didn't see yours, but obviously.
Hey,
stupid.
Sen, will you give us a second? Will you give us a moment? So sorry.
Oh, sure. I would love to have you have a conversation with your friends.
Oh,
I
you.
take it
I imagine we have eternity.
all of you.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn, fuck that way.
Unfortunately, you are barred from crossing to their.
It's like
their
a
side.
treadmill or something here.
All right.
Walk back.
Hey, Sin. Watch this.
Oh, you go one at a time. We'll go one.
This
At
will go
You're not gonna like this.
the easy way or the hard way.
Oh,
We're
it's
taking
alright.
Vaughn with us, whether you like it or not.
Wow.
Well, obviously, I don't like it, but unfortunately, that's not how this parlay will work.
Yeah, we're gonna beat you up and take him.
That is
Good try, Rick. Good try.
All right.
poor Yip Yip is just can't.
You're not the only one who can change the rules.
God, I'm doing really well.
I think you are. I think you're really good.
Not how
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work.
Have you ever had a one-on-one conversation with the Reverend?
Do you fiddle perchance? Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah.
Prestidigitation produces a spectral fiddle.
Yes.
There is a crackle of lightning
Oh.
that is deafening for a moment as the thunder peal rips. And Varen returns, stepping behind you, and says, I think at this point, as entertaining as your chatter has been, I have to say I've enjoyed Sin's frustration there. That is quite interesting. Now is the chance for you to make your parlay.
Well, you interrupted me because I was about to play the greatest song in the world.
At least a tribute to it. Who are you talking to?
Your daddy.
Your dad.
Oh, hey.
He's like you, but older.
Surprise.
Yeah, and just as vague.
Showed up.
Yeah, Vaughn,
Okay.
you do not see Varen.
I would look dumbfounded.
Do you have a suggestion then?
Having never done this exactly myself, I suggest one of you begin to make your plea as to why Vaughn should be allowed to be released from his deal and cross back over with you. Mary, would you like to?
I have a-
Pressure.
I have a question. So at the end of last session, I cast Beacon of Hope, which gives advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws and maximum hit points. Is it possible that that would still be up for right now?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Beacon. On Vaughn.
Odd or even?
Oh God. Odd.
Always.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
I would like the correct. Yeah, could it be both? Is both an option?
It's a odd
Could
or
we parlay with you?
Or option.
Oh, well,
yeah. And
you already
my
chose
favorite
odd.
contraption. Or I'm
Like iron ore?
that's not how that works. Yeah,
cheap
but
on the
fortunately,
table.
it was a 7 that I rolled.
Always go odd.
So
Always go odd.
you would have advantage on that.
Amazing.
So now that that's established, unless you feel your talkative friend would be a better lead.
Oh,
Well, am I making this claim to the one god, or am I making this claim with?
You would be making the claim to the one god.
You're speaking
am-
like he's right. Where is like he's like looking around like to point in the general direction of where my father is.
Over their direction between those.
So she points to where Varen, she sees Varen standing. For you, it is just kind of a gap in the group, kind of the way they've arranged themselves around him with their conversation. Like it looks like there should be somebody standing right there, but there's nobody standing right
Like lock my attention like in that general direction, and see if I can like force my brain to like create the negative image that is of my father.
Kind of relax here.
there. Fantastic.
I guess my argument will be that there are, let's see, 7 of us, 8, who all have a destiny, if you will, a higher calling, right? To fulfill the task of putting down Malicendas and, you know, ridding the evil of the world, which we can't do without Vaughn. So could we act like this is on a scale here and where it's like weighted down this way with Vaughn over here? I guess I don't know how to word this properly, but
You're doing great, Mary.
thanks. I'm trying.
Mary, give me a religion check.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I argue on behalf of Mary for advantage because
Direct, like
because they're in the veil?
Yeah, yeah, like right there.
It's
You
right
do have that D12 inspiration.
Oh, that's true.
Using it.
Okay, sick. I also.
You also have the one.
My platinum. It said a D12.
That was
Oh,
a D10. So
yeah,
you have-
so-
that's a D12 and a D10 you can add.
Yeah. Because we got the.
Oh,
We got a
'cause
free.
We got a
free
freebie.
one. Okay, where's the 12? Here's a 12.
The deific D12.
I will also use the platinum.
Why don't you take this chocolate coin?
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Another D8?
Dairy free here in the
A
veil.
D8.
Oh, yeah, good.
you
call.
have to eat it
Boy.
though, right here.
Let's see.
I want to use my chocolate too.
You don't
Okay.
happen to accept.
Was that a bag?
19.
Ooh.
Right. So,
A lot of low rolls, guys.
Wait, did you add your modifier too?
I didn't.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's my help.
Whoa.
That's a big thing.
Ooh, yeah, no.
21.
21. The most important thing is that Vaughn does not prescribe to the one God. And so that opened him up to be in Sin's domain. So if Vaughn could make a choice on that, that may influence things in the favor depending on how you all make your pitches. One of the big things that you remember about the tenets of your religion is that the most important thing is faith in the one God. There's not a whole lot past that he asks.
Well, may I consult with Vaughn?
Sin opens its mouth to begin speaking, and you hear no words.
What? Just no. None of us hear anything.
From Sin, no. He looks quite upset and steps back,
Tiniest
locking
background.
eyes with you.
The rules they keep
Yeah.
changing here. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Hold on, I think he's gonna say something.
You can see Thresh being torn apart behind you.
Oh.
Whatever's happening to that guy looks like.
Thank God we don't know him, right? Like, oh, that would be so uncomfortable if it was someone like
You know,
who's
that's actually
familiar.
pretty dark.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah,
That's
it's
Thresh.
yeah. See, I did.
Baron's like,
You could have said something at any time, old man.
We gotta.
I see why you call him dead guy.
Well, Vaughn, it seems that a lot of this is your choice. We're here to petition your freedom and your life back, but I think in order to do that, it would require your faith in the one God to break this tie.
He looks back and forth to Sin. Are you implying that we're still somehow connected, even though I died?
I think we can bring you back, but it's going to be at a cost. And
Look, no. The point of this was to prevent any of these
We
other
can't-
dealings.
okay, but
There's no other deals to be made.
there is though,
I would recommend against it,
not
given the
with him,
chance.
with the one God.
One God makes deals.
Why can't we just
Apparently,
we'll get the bad guys right there? Get
He
the
wanted-
one God to smite them.
I don't think that's how this works.
Why not?
You should read that book a little bit harder.
would you like to make a religion check?
Do it. I would like to offer advantage by berating the Reverend.
Like now this nonsense after
Begging. This is
good triumphs over evil.
How bad was that roll?
It's a little bit more gray than
It's a 13.
13. A basic tenet of the religion is that sin is available to anyone that decides to take it. It is a way that you make the choice. Because how can you be held accountable and judged for your actions if you're not allowed to make said actions?
Oh, okay. So I've skimmed it again, I guess.
Yeah, you keep that pocket version.
I got another idea. But Vaughn, do one of these.
Is that
Pretend like you have earmuffs on.
And if you could hum. Yeah.
Or like put your fingers in.
You're really
Yeah.
doing this right now.
quite
Yes,
good at
I am.
reading lips as well?
maybe close your eyes.
Yeah. Here, do you want the glasses?
So
Hey, ugly.
Really?
That's the best you come up with.
I got a new bargain. You like to make deals.
Oh no.
Reverend,
Got it. I'm gonna do one not selfish thing for in my whole life. Here we go. Listen, I make you a deal. You give him back to us, and you can take me.
Oh, here we go.
seriously?
Yes.
So I assume we're in like a spiritual
He's gonna be-
spectacle. I want to
Okay,
hit him in the
getting it.
leg.
I
Reverend,
do get it. He's gonna.
Is
be the
everything-
king. We
is
need
everything
him. The
done now?
world needs him.
no,
The world doesn't
Okay.
need me as much.
that's not true. It requires all of us. That is why we're here. You giving yourself up doesn't help us at all. We're
But
just
I'm
gonna have to
not-
do this again.
I'm not dead.
Ron was the one who made the choice. He struck the pact.
I don't know if you can take that from him.
I imagine someone will just tap me on the shoulder when
You see Sen smiling, and Baron looks at the rest of the party. It can let Vaughn go, but he won't be coming back over. He has no power to bring an empty vessel back. He could fill it with something, but it wouldn't be Vaughn. But I am sure that he
That's
would
how we
be
have.
more than happy to take your friend as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
maybe
Great new plan.
Oh.
That was dumb.
What?
Can I try?
I
Try-
tapped Vaughn on
Sure.
the shoulder.
Hey, I didn't know better.
How did the deliberations go?
So good, so good. We're really making progress.
She's
Just
lying.
hold on. Shh.
I looked around. While you're talking, I start to look at Echo's face because I know it can't lie. Echo seems distracted, and he puts an arm on Reverend's shoulder, and he just kind of nods at you, doesn't say anything. And he goes up to Vaughn's father, kind of, but more so Vaughn. I didn't really think I'd be saying this in front of you. I thought it'd be at your grave, but
In a way, if you
I
think about
think
it.
I think I might understand a little bit of what's going on here. We're asking for why you should come back. And I think I've come to somewhat of an understanding. I was never myself a devout worshiper of the one God in the way that you are. I didn't read the books. Well, I read them, but I didn't pray. I just saw it or him all around me. Everything is the one God, or it's not. But the way I see the world is there are no absolutes. Yes, there is good. Yes, there is evil. But nobody is completely good, and nobody is completely evil. We all make these choices, and we live with them until we don't. And do I have my possessions on me?
Mhm.
Echo brings out the terrarium, and he sets it on the ground. I lived a fractured life, one where everything was told to me in ways that make sense, until over and over again they didn't, and those lives were taken away from me. I lost who I was, and then I lost who I became, and then I became somebody else. But I didn't become that person alone, it was with everybody here. And it's only with everybody here. It doesn't work
missing any of us. This, and he gestures to the terrarium, is the good that was shown to me in my new life. And a large part of that is because of people like Vaughn, specifically Vaughn. And it's incomplete without him. I thought if you were gone, Vaughn, that I would like to be. I wished that in my past I was like you, and that I could carry on being like you if I have any choice. And I hold this with me, knowing I could find out who I am right now. And I don't open it, not because I'm scared of some shadowy, evil creature, and he kind of glares at Sin, but because I prefer who I am with you all than who I was. We need Vaughn. And whoever you are or what you are, you need him too. We can't do this without him. And I'd really appreciate it if you didn't take away another family from me. So I'll help him find a way to worship in a way that makes sense to him, because it didn't make sense to me either. And I think I'm starting to see how his brain works. And he looks over at Sky, and Sky brings over a bone as close as to you as it can get. I didn't know you'd be here for this, but for your new body.
Can I take it? Can I physically take it from Sky?
It's in your hand now.
Vaughn, we need you, and well, more than just us. Everyone needs you. I think you can make the right choice. And Echo will duck back to the circle.
Farah looks about the group. Does anyone else have anything to add?
I do. If that's all right. Sort of building on what Echo said. I've never really been one for books as soon as I could get away from them in the mines. But where I always found the divine was through other people. Through Cyprian, through Ellie, through the friends that we make along the way. and I have seen Vaughn choose people over and over. Every time we're in the tower, he makes sure to talk to everyone, even though they were like a little weirded out because he was like scary. Well, I mean, not that scary. It wasn't bad, it wasn't that bad.
I don't have my earmuffs on currently. Just as you continue with this very talk.
Great. But it's just I've seen him consistently choose people and dedicate himself to the betterment of those around him, whether it was us or someone he knew for 5 minutes. And so again and again, I've seen him make the choice to see the divine in others. So whether or not he's ever officially chosen the one God, I do think that he's chosen the people around him. Often against his own well-being. And so for that, I think that he deserves another chance with us to make this right.
Varen smiles at you. Would anyone else like to add anything? Any other words?
Let's step forward. My plea is simple. I hope I have used my gifts well. My faith has never shaken. Though Vaughn may not have faith, he's the living embodiment. Without Vaughn de la Destra, the world will plummet into chaos. Without Vaughn, evil shall reign. Without Vaughn, peace cannot be restored and my people will stop. If I allow Vaughn to die, I have failed Septimus. Though Vaughn doesn't hold the faith, he is the embodiment of good. And then I step back.
I would like to say another
That's really good.
thing.
Thank you.
All of our paths and destinies are shared. And if we lose a piece, then it won't come to completion. So really losing Vaughn is losing more than just Vaughn. It's everything. Everything that everything I do is for the one God, and I work so hard to make myself just according to his will, and I feel like it will all come to nothing without him. And so Vaughn bears a heavy weight for all of us. And I think it's in the one God's best interest as well to bring him back so that we can complete this task that will save us all.
Any other words?
I'll step up. And I'll turn to Vaughn. A lot of this has been really impersonal. I don't really understand everything that's happening right now, but
First time for me as well.
just in case this is last conversation.
You'd see that almost intrinsically there'd be like a hand that goes to rub his right hand as you begin to speak.
Yeah. I owe you. I tell you you're dumb and stupid and reckless.
It goes without saying, so you try to understand.
You did it on purpose. I think it's a good. Fear. Yours is too. You can't die twice, so at this point. Yeah, actually, this is not a great point. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but whether you figure it out one way or another, I'm glad I met you.
Like everyone's been saying, like this is like almost like an opposite roast where like everybody comes and says like really chill, really nice things, and it's like but also like very hard to listen to because we're all just like
Honestly,
stand.
worse.
Yeah,
Really
it's hard.
It's
Yeah. But there was something different and lighter about lighter and somehow also more meaningful about what Skeech is saying, especially the part about the living in fear. You would see that there would almost be like a deflating of whatever like spiritual embodiment there currently is of Vaughn on this plane. Like you've pinhole pricked something. And a little bit of that weight or burden is beginning to release into whatever this either is.
So if there's anything that you want me to tell anybody out here,
Oh, my final affairs and things like that. Well, if this
I
goes,
didn't know you had any, but
oh, Skeech, if this goes poorly, if you go back up to the tower, you'll find a small dossier beneath my pillow. It has everything you need to do for final arrangements and other things, as well, where I've bequeathed everything.
Of course,
yeah, really.
Of
That's what-
course.
It's itemized.
Dork.
Yeah, sure. I'll get on that. I guess.
We'll help you with it, Skeech.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Nope, we're not because he's
It
gonna
would be a
make it.
lot more helpful.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come back with us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah, because if you're not there, then the Reverend gets to pick what we do next. We're all gonna die.
It's true. So soon.
There's an animated zoom in on
Listen, one God, I know I ain't been perfect, but these folks are right. We got to get Vaughn back because we got to save the world. It's gonna be awful hard. It's gonna be awful hard to minister good word about you when the world is in chaos and controlled by Malcindus. And I know you're a deity, but you got to have some sense of practicality.
The air and stuff. He's the smart one, and I don't like which I say.
Well, I
Smart.
resemble that remark, but I'm pleading with you. And
He's smart in some ways, but not always.
Well, there's a difference between
This is kind of pivoting towards Rufus.
At this point, Varen does become visible to you, Vaughn.
Damn it.
it's your dad.
Oh, sorry.
David, did you have something you wish to say?
Yeah.
You're
But not chaos that is going on of roast, compliment, which one are we choosing?
Yep.
Disregarding our destinies to defeat Malacendus. Vaughn is important to all of us. He has changed us in ways that we'll never know because who cares about the destinies? We just want Vaughn back.
Yeah.
He deserves to live a good life too.
What a man deserves and what a man gets are often two different things.
I hear him too.
Yes. But your pleas have been heard. And so now there's a choice before you. And when he does so, one side, a portal opens up, and you can see the bridge that crosses the Wild Run River. Nothing obstructs it. A second portal opens up, and there's a waterfall in front of it, but it leads to the same exact place. You have a choice. You can return through this portal here and pick up where you left off. You'll be returned to your bodies, spawn. You can go with them there. You can pass through the second portal and accept the one God's gift, accepting that the one God is your God. And again, you will have his gifts to help carry you forward. But the choice is up to you on this. Which path will you take?
Will you say the options again?
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Pass through the portal on the left, and you'll be returned just as you were. Pass through the portal on the right, through the waterfall. Accept the one God as your God, and his gifts will be bestowed upon you. And again, you'll be returned to the same place. Outside of Newtown, on the stone bridge, by the Wild Run River. You are not forced to do either of those two. The choice will be yours. Choose wisely.
I think this would have
And he fades
broken him.
away. All you're left with is the two portals. On the other side of the room is Sin with his cohabitants. And he's staring at you, mouthing that you will be his.
I think under Vaughn's breath, he would be muttering something about ever a man of few words. I wonder questions.
Yeah.
Um, and then we kind of like look back around to all of you. Please what? Yep, yep.
I don't know. I just. So much of my plan is already gone. I don't want to lose more of the people I care about, too.
Yep, yep. Everything that you all have said today is true, kind, thoughtful, meaningful, truly authentic. But understand me, Yip Yip. You will rise to be better because of the companions, but you will never, ever be powerless alone. You are great in and of yourself. Yip Yip. And you do not need others to be great.
Crying, you're crying.
Do we really think it's this simple?
No. But it seems like we've been given a pretty good option either way.
And any chance is better than no chance.
Well, take the gamble.
We can all see where overthinking got you.
Mm.
So,
Skeech,
and I'm gonna look
agree.
at Mary and I'm gonna say, "Guess we gotta have a little faith."
Skeech is right. Sometimes you gotta go with your gut.
That's true. All the time.
That's quite challenging.
Think about it logically. If we are here, I don't know how to wrap my head around this. I live in the natural world where things make sense. This doesn't make sense, but we're here.
I spent, well, it was challenging to tell if it was seconds, minutes, decades, millennia. I spent a good chunk of that pondering myself if this was some type of hallucination for a great deal of time. I would be lying if I said I had not considered that even now speaking to all of you.
But I think the obstacle that I understand you're facing is that there are things we just simply don't understand and will never understand. And that's what separates us from the gods. So I think Skeech and Mary are right about taking, he kind of nods over the waterfall, a leap of faith, in that you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to do it.
I spend a lot of time tricking people. Perhaps surprising to y'all. But sometimes the gift is just a gift. You know, this is my first time in the afterlife as well. But this reminds me of time when I was a young boy. And her voice gave me the beginning of the gifts that I have now. I haven't always used them to help people. But you helped me figure out that that's the best thing to do. Feels kind of good. So, if we want to save the world, we got to go through the door there and think of how formidable we would be if we had power of one guy on our side.
Vaughn, you help everyone by yourself.
That's true.
And I'm going to outstretch my hand to you. Let us help you with this.
You would see that Von like goes to like quickly grab your hand and like stops probably about like 3 to 4 inches away from it and like turns back around to where the individual he's now named Thresh is doing whatever our good DM is to describe.
Oh,
So-
yeah, just
Yeah.
slowly being disassembled.
Yeah.
Blue then is losing his mind. You can actually see him tearing at himself in these puffs of blackness and evil rip and race off of him. Thresh is being just brutally abused, but he makes eye contact with you through the vision that you're given, what he's seeing, and you see him nodding his head to you.
Can I can I move to within 10 feet of Thresh? And I would like to use my reaction to take his pain for a second so he can talk to Vaughn.
Saving throw. Wisdom.
Wisdom. Hey,
Sounds like a
Yeah.
hurtful beacon.
sounds like before I have advantage, right? Yeah, okay, tight. Hey, great. I'll roll again just in case, but it was a nat 20 the first time.
Unbelievable, unimaginable pain. You,
A little bit.
if it wasn't for the fact that you're not in your physical body, you would not have been able to deal with this. As of right now, you are sure that this will scar you in your sleep and even in your waking hours for many years.
I like that, but I imagine that I'm in so much pain that you're just like locked in a smile grim, so we don't know. I hand you a phone.
It's not even, she's not even able to do the grimace. It can't even make a sound at this point because of what's happening to her. But
Silence.
Thresh looks at you as the torture has ended, and literally at this point, Sin tears himself completely apart
Oh,
and just kind of fades away. And as he's doing so, the images begin to disappear as well.
What does?
The images of the individuals that are being tortured, but Thresh is still there at the moment, and he looks in eye to eye, and no idea what this young woman's doing, but I thank her. Vaughn, you need to make your choice. You know what you need to do.
I'm going to reach around my neck and unclasp the locket that Rose had given me. That is a locket of protection and has given me advantage on all of my saving throws and increased my armor class. And I'm going to quickly, while I have time, put it around Thresh's neck and clasp it on.
Thank you. Do what you have to do. What you were born to do. And he disappears. The connection is severed. And the only reason, again, that you're still standing is you're not in your corporal body.
You're not that bad, Vaughn. I think he's gonna be fine.
You're gonna be dumb. You gotta be tough.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
Just bleed.
Yeah, they are.
Really bad.
oh,
Your eyes up too. Yes.
The underdog. Dared you.
Not in like a very intense sacrificial pool.
Thank you. Thank
Ice is cool.
You,
Not for you.
you don't get to say that.
I didn't know it was piecemeal.
Talking
Yeah,
about
thank
good
you.
looking, I'm not too
I
happy if
suffered
you
some
talk like
damage.
me.
oh, just
Just
emotional.
Oh, just a lot of mental and emotional scarring. Yes.
More psychological damage. I'm just gonna hold her hand.
Thanks, sir.
Probably
Where's
doesn't count like
What the with that?
all that's left literally around you all at this point in time is the nothing. And there's the porthole to the left. That again is just a straight to the bridge. And again, the portal to the right, which is a waterfall, leads to the same spot.
I'm gonna look to where the final spots where my father Baron was before he disappeared, kind of dusted away a little bit into this mist and this fog. And I'm going to again, like almost like willing that like final like visage to reappear so I can like actually have that memory, because there wasn't a final like goodbye memory that he had with his father. before kind of breaking away and taking a look back over to the group. I don't know exactly what my father said to each of you. He succinct, describes him well. But there was an immeasurable amount of thought behind each of his words and the guidance that he offered me as I was a young boy. I can remember sitting on his knee, listening to the reports, battalions coming in, making decisions for and across the countryside, and he explained to me afterwards in private that he knew enough to get by. He explained to me that it wasn't that he had the answers for everything. It wasn't that he knew what to do. It was that he surrounded himself with individuals who knew how to make the right decisions at the right time in the right endeavor. I spent a lot of time thinking, and he just like stops and lets that ride for a second. I spent a lot of time thinking that in order to be a good leader, you must find answers before the questions are asked. And he looks over to Skeech, and I see exactly where that has gotten me. So maybe it's time I listen to the advice of my father. Listen to the advice of those that I have selected and chosen to surround myself with. And maybe the decision that I need to make is a decision for the greater good. And so I ask, which one should we leave through?
I don't remember which one does which anymore.
So, yeah, the bridge doesn't come with any things, but what he was saying is if we take the waterfall, we get cool stuff from God.
Hardship.
There's also a commitment that comes along with it, but yes,
Oh yeah.
in a nutshell.
I think we can all agree on which one, right?
Well, we can't go through separate portals, could we? We all have to choose together.
Didn't specify.
Everyone makes their own choice.
Could we pull up the terms and conditions again?
Yeah.
Just look
through it.
Here's another thing that might shock you, but I've done a little bit of gambling in my time. I know. Thing about it is, you play the odds, but you got to go with the best bet. So, feels like waterfall option gives us the best odds of success. Then on the winning horse, so to speak.
So
Which the in this analogy that will be God.
yes.
Just in case you weren't clear.
I appreciate the game.
Thank you. I was confused by all the horses.
With the horse portal? Is that huh?
I was hoping it points that way.
Said patriarch.
Yeah. So all together then?
There's nothing left to do.
Could we fit if we all go through at the same time?
I think we should try.
Okay.
Don't join hands or something.
It's a one at a time portal.
Okay, well,
We can join hands and go sideways. Okay.
Would it be the first time we?
Or you could just hold
Hands
backwards
crossed,
and
Granitegard.
No, that's fine.
Didn't get very far. The chain broke quick.
Whoops, sorry.
Did you do this to me?
Vaughn,
Alright.
you first through. Or last through.
Your lead, Vaughn. I'd start walking towards the door on the right, which I took notes to remind myself.
It's the waterfall door, right?
It's the waterfall door.
Okay.
Here's a new trick.
Stage, right? No.
Think.
I'd walk over towards this, and are we doing the hand holding thing? Or are you all just like in like a gaggle, like
No.
15 feet away?
The chain broke pretty quickly.
There's like a couple
Hopefully
people
that's
chained.
not a.
No, it got awkward like really
Yeah.
quick.
And then there's just holding hands.
Just so sweaty.
You
Agonies.
grabbed on to like your little your the edge of your
Coattail.
coattail, yeah.
Whose idea was it?
to do this?
I think we all wanted to do that.
I think Mary that really had like the know-how and got us like through the scary veil and like yeah.
I knew the ritual.
Sava said he wanted you to choose the one god, if that's worth anything.
That's true.
You talked to Pavis.
Yeah,
yeah.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Was he like normal?
Is he cool? Is he
He
doing all
was,
right?
he was a groundhog for a little bit.
Oh, that's the
woodchuck,
That's
sorry.
really cool.
Whistlepick.
Yes.
Yes.
All that I'm wondering before we step across this is you all took a remarkable risk to come and bring me back. In fact, it's very similar to risk that I've been chastised for several times.
Yeah,
before.
well,
You could appreciate it though.
I can respect the game, yes.
Game recognizes.
I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you. And he just like falls back through the portal.
Oh,
As
Chest
you
ball.
do so, you hear Baron's voice in your ear. I love you, son.
Aw.
And through the portal you go. The rest of you follow?
Yeah.
And you all
Actually, I'm through the other.
He rips off her mask.
Is that your final answer? Okay.
I'm gonna wait a second and then reach into my pocket and pull out that coin. And I'm gonna flick it up.
Mhm.
And when I catch it, before I even look at it, I'm just gonna tuck it back in. And thinking about what Varen had said about if there's some sort of plan for me, there's gonna be a price to pay. And then I will follow my friends.
You all step through the portal to the other side. Back to the physical plane of existence. And as you do so, the cold night rushes in to meet you. Stars are out. The sky is clear here. You're on the other side of the Wild Run River, next to that stone bridge. You could hear the river racing. Welcome to level 12.
oh,
And here we're going to take our break for the evening. And
Oh,
we'll
shit.
see you here very shortly. welcome back. As we had just left off, our party had returned from the other side of the veil. As you all have stepped through the portal back into Granitegard, again, the cold night wraps around you. The temperature is a massive difference from the pleasant nothingness that you were feeling inside the veil. But Vaughn, it has never felt so good to you to feel the night air on your skin again. A sensation that you never thought that you would have. Yet, just the simplicity of that. As you all look to Vaughn, you can see that a section of his hair, a large lock, has turned bleach white. That's not the only changes that you see here in the group. Looking at the Reverend, he is now wearing a white one-piece suit.
Well,
And as he does
you mean
this
by
with
one
his hand, you can see that there appears to be a bit of fabric that stretches from here down to his ankles, almost like a wing somewhat. It's filled with these amazing rhinestones and this rainbow pattern
Amen.
that goes from top to bottom on that.
Rhinestone
And you've never felt more confident before.
all I got was the band changing.
But Yip Yip, looking at you, is quite surprised. As she steps back, the fabric of her outfit rips, and both sets of the wings stretch out to full length before folding back in a bit on your back.
All right, wait, say that again.
You now have movement of 40 feet per turn of flying.
Okay.
I feel like
Lie.
a million gold.
The rest of you, we will get to your little changes later on. But right now, these are the visible changes that you see.
She actually didn't believe hard enough. So
Is that why nothing happened to you?
Park was like, oh.
I mean, I could probably get. I had missed.
I couldn't believe anymore. I already got my gift.
There are two Itherian
humbled.
guards standing here at the bridge, which Tarquin immediately locks eyes on, because there are only two guards here at the bridge. When there was a fortification that's still intact, but there were 10 guards last time you were here. 10 guards on both sides.
I'm
of the
sure it's
bridge.
totally chill.
It's fine.
And they're staring in shock and awe at all of you standing there. They're like,
All of a sudden.
Where's the rest of the patrol?
oh, well, sir, there's a situation at camp. You should report to the Prelude. It would be most advised.
Understood.
It
Oh,
sounds
yes, sir.
cool and chill.
Start off.
It can't be any more complicated than what just happened.
Of course.
Come with.
He's very decisive.
Question: did we get all of the stuff that we needed for you? Documentation.
Well, Vaughn, you can look and see Hengrid's ring on your hand.
We have this.
Is that enough? Okay.
Then I reach from my pocket. What do I pull out?
Well, your birth certificate.
We have this. Watch this. I don't know. I don't.
It's the bone.
Might be a good. Do I still have the bone?
Yes.
Eh.
Yes.
Ah!
And he has a humerus in his hand.
I don't find that funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little cold still. Damon, did you and I will reach into the bag of holding and pull out the coat. Did you still want this?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Thanks.
I just want to give Vaughn a big hug.
Do I have any like residual pain from being crushed under the weight of a building?
No.
Pretty instant.
No scarring, no nothing. Looks like you were expertly healed.
Oh,
With
I mean-
cards.
just you.
Yeah, Parkin was there too.
I don't think we have time to be standing around, though. It sounds like, though.
You look
I
pretty
assumed it was
crush marks.
I am. To be honest, I didn't.
You know, it wasn't as bad as you would have thought. Yeah.
Yeah, Vaughn.
Mark is gone from your hand, by the way. Vaughn.
Yeah, I would hold up my hand. Most everything's different.
You would like watch like a brow furrowing of Vaughn as he like tries to like.
Right. Yeah, I turn.
You would Vaughn would think an expletive in his head, and Skeech would be able to hear it.
I'm gonna look down at my hand. Hold on.
Mark is gone.
Was that at me?
What are you talking about?
What you said?
Do you want me to say it?
I didn't say
Do
anything.
you want me to say it?
I can say it.
Please, let's not say it. So I take it that you're having this conversation in route with Tarquin
I'm assuming we're having this conversation.
as you guys are walking towards the camp.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we just
I just
Walking backwards while having this conversation. It's like
I've gotten in trouble before for assuming, so I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
I
if it
fly.
benefits us, then yes. Those are the rules.
Worth a try. Worth a try. Yeah, I'm on all fours.
That's his gift.
I came out
Oh.
different.
Yes, I can't tell that anything's different.
You all got so tall.
Oh, all right. As you approach the gates of the Antherian camp, you see the lookout fires still burn brightly, but there are very few soldiers that are manning the walls. From inside the gates, there's a din of low murmurs and moans filled with anguish and discomfort, cries out into the night, prayers, and just pleas for the discomfort and pain to end. As Tarquin approaches the gate, you can hear the guards call out and the gates open up, allowing you to have access into the camp. And as you pass through the gates, you're struck with the smell of sick. Repulsive odors assaulting your nostrils. Looking at the main access of the camp, you can see the soldiers on both sides of the bivouacs are laid out in their bedding. Most of the camp seems to be afflicted, as far as you can tell by whatever is happening here. They clutch their stomachs. Some of them sob in terrible bouts of pain and agony. Most of them are experiencing very violent emptying of their bowels and/or stomachs, and the wretched smells mingle, almost turning your own. You can see that there are individuals in the camp that are still healthy that are trying to attend to the sick, and ahead, at the center of camp, is Exotaurus's tent, with no guards standing by.
Seems like they got bad bout of food poisoning or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Something's wrong. This shouldn't be possible.
Even with that, I can't imagine them not having some type of guards in front with not in front. This
War
is typical.
impenetrable. This should not be possible.
do you suspect the
I'm gonna stop by like just the nearest sick person and see if a 5-pointer of lay on hands will cure the disease.
Unfortunately, it does nothing to change the affliction.
This is
That's
serious.
not a good
do you
sign.
expect is this the concordance?
I'm about to find out. And I'm going towards the tent.
And inside of Exotaurus's tent, he and several of his advisors are trying to address the situation. They are huddled around the planning table. Immediately, you can tell that there is something terribly wrong with Exotaurus. His skin is ashen, it's a pale hue, his eyes are sunken, there's a large, dark bruises under his bloodshot eyes, and he's seated, more slumped into his chair. His veins have a blackened quality to them, and they show through his skin, and he wipes a bit of blood from his nose and the corner of his mouth as he looks up to see you all entering the tent there.
Septimus. I'm gonna rush over.
The one god, you were not here. And it's like, you could see that he's just like fighting, throwing up. And he just starts wiping more blood from it. It's hard to even speak. Hilton, please tell me.
Your eyes were focused initially on Exotaurus and didn't even see Gildan standing to the side. But now that he has called your attention to Gildan, you see Gildan has kind of been huddled over a table off to the side, working some sort of teas or some brew that he's been making, and hands a cup to Exotaurus.
Here you go, my friend. Drink this. This should help. And he kind of helps hold his hands and.
Thank you, my friend.
You are welcome. You must rest. You take too much upon yourself. My friends, it is very good to see you. Things, as you see, have not been going quite well. I came here to see my friend, and when I arrived, I found this. Most of the horses have been affected, and Aemond, as you remember, He went out to try to find some sort of cure, but we have not been able to find anything yet.
What happened?
Well, it is hard to say. I believe I have some sort of an idea because I have seen something similar before. In my own experience, it is, I believe, a type of poison that was particularly used by your friend Damon's former associates.
Before, when you said poison, but before you said that looks part, I was already looking at.
Yes, it was one of their favorites. It was known as the Viper's Tooth. Basically, it affects, makes you expel all of your fluids, and after a few days, people just die of dehydration. It's a very agonizing death.
What how did someone put it in the drinking water? Or?
No one knows. We assume it might have been the wine, but coincidentally, your sister, and he looks at Vaughn, has
I
been
imagine
missing.
She has
since,
not been around since about that time.
She has been missing ever since everyone started to get sick. So,
Couldn't save them.
Is there a
That's
cure?
my gift. I was only able to save the medical corps.
you have done more than enough, my friend. Please rest.
One of the healers there in the tent looks over and we've tried everything that we know that could possibly do something to aid people with similar discomforts. Nothing seems to stem what is going on. It is our speculation that the poison has some magical quality to it, seeing as how that even Exotaurus's abilities are diminished, trying to expunge the toxin.
Don't worry, Tarquin. I did not drink the poison. This is the stigmata. I saved as many as I could.
Yes, an unfortunate effect of his abilities.
Then all you need is rest.
He takes too much out of himself.
Did you bring it?
It seems beyond the point now, but yes. Although I say that these paper and ring are less important than taking care of these people here and helping you.
Please. And Extorus grabs his chair and shaking lifts himself to his feet.
Looks like an
Let me
old,
see it.
it looks like an
to
old
you.
man standing, the way he barely is able to have the energy to prop himself up.
And Gildan looks, Tarquin, help. And we both come over and prop him up.
Please, let me see it.
Bring out the writ certificates. I would not take off the ring.
I take the writ and look at it. I read it. Please show me your ring.
Lifts up his hand.
It is indeed Hendrik's ring.
And you just hear the sound of trumpets.
I lay the Exotaurus lays the writ down on his war table. And he reaches over and he grabs one of the candles and pours a little wax right near the bottom, puts the candle back. And he pulls on a chain and pulls his own signet ring out. He presses it into the wax. And then he picks up the writ and tries to walk towards you and stumbles, and he summons his weapon into his hand and stabs it in the ground to steady himself. I, Septimus Vortigillum, seventh son of August Vortigillum, of noble house Vortigillum, by the right of my birth, Antheria recognizes, and I do proclaim you as the rightful Granitegard. And I kneel before you and almost collapse.
As
And
he
I
does
say,
that, the rest of his men also follow suit as well in the tent.
our spear is chipped, but it is not shattered. The 11th is in your service, Your Majesty.
You'd watch as Vaughn takes a couple of slow but measured steps up your general direction and would essentially just bring out a hand in an attempt to help you rise.
And take you by the hand and shaking as I try to stand back to my feet.
And he pulls you back up and he says, "Noble house or not, I accept what you offer."
I ask only one thing of you.
Name it.
Our scouts, my advisors, We believe that your sister did this. And by the laws of Enthera, I ask that you execute her.
She has gone too far.
We will find. We will find my sister. And you have my word that she will be brought to justice.
The king has spoken. And stagger back to my chair.
Yes, you must go rest, my friend, and Gildan will help.
Like we're all on the same page now.
We have healers amongst us. No offense to yours, but you don't think that we would be able to help some of your people?
So after he attends to Exitoris, Gildan is going to come back. He's going to, kind of tuck him in a little bit, and he's going to, my friends, all is not lost. I believe that I might have a solution, but you will have to venture into the city to find it. You see, years ago, when the Way had a little bit of a disagreement with myself and my caravan, they tried to do the same thing. However, in my travels, I have met a man who gave me a powder of a fungus, a mushroom, and he said that this will cure all sorts of diseases, poisons, what have you. And all I had to do was trade him a small magical dagger. No big deal. I was doing well at the time. I had items to spare. I put it away, forgot all about it, and then this tragedy struck my caravan. Nothing worked except the vial that he gave me. It was almost instantaneous. I believe I know where you might be able to find these.
Gildan, can you describe what this fungus looked like?
Yes, it is a mushroom that is said to be as tall as a child or a regular goblin, with a cap as big as a wagon wheel, with all colors of the rainbow. It is hard to miss.
Oh, I ate a mushroom like that one time. And then I kind of look over at Vaughn and the rest of the party in the serious situation. Yeah, where can we find it?
Yes.
In the Queen's Grotto. And Vaughn, you might be familiar with this. This is on your family's estate. It is the grounds of the sovereign palace. When Sovereign Vitaris was restoring the grounds, they discovered a system of caves underneath the garden. And the queen was very fond, Queen Lysandra was your grandmother was very fond of these caves. You might remember.
It was dedicated to her. It was
exactly, yes.
quite
Yes.
beautiful in its own way.
Yes, yes. Well, in this special, there was said to be a special secret area of this grotto that is said to have these mushrooms. So you must make your way into this grotto and get them. This is a long shot. This is a long shot, but I believe that this is the only thing that can help cure all of these people, and they do not have much time.
If you look like you saw a ghost.
I imagine you have information on who has taken up citizenship of my old estate.
It's a dangerous place. One that kobolds and dark speakers alike avoid.
Yes,
I mean, it lies below the Kingswood. It's. I mean, I wasn't supposed to, but I did hide in the Kingswood before. Once on a patrol. Once when I was almost caught.
What a rebel!
That should have been. You know what? It's been a long day. Okay.
Yeah. But again, no one who's gone in has ever come out. I don't know anything past like the outskirts of the Kingswood. We'd be going in mostly blind. I have no idea how much it could have changed compared to what you remember.
I imagine it's changed a great deal. Nor do I think that matters.
Would please your majesty.
Speak.
Tarquin,
Yes.
please go with him. Save our brothers.
Yes, I will stay here and tend to.
I believe your uncle is also in danger.
What information do you have? What have you heard? What have you received?
She is willing to kill anything that threatens her throne.
No.
I thought it was nice, Rev.
Has she been seen?
If
Not
she
since
does not
showing
wish to be
before.
seen, she will not be seen.
I believe it was the evening mead. Because I had not partaken of it yet.
You gotta watch out for the meat. He'll sneak up on you.
Does that mushroom sound at all like any ingredient that I've used in my cure-alls?
Let you do either a history or a nature check on that. Survival. Any one of those three.
I'm gonna argue, since it sounds like semi-magical poisons and cures, Arcana.
I'll let you do that instead.
16.
16. No, not exactly, but there is a family of mushrooms that you do use in your cure-alls that this could possibly be related to. It seems likely, given the potency and efficiency of some of the ones that you use, that there could be something bigger and better out there.
I have an idea. I need a little bit of time, but might be able to help. I doubt it would fix it, but it might buy us a little bit of time. Yeah, I'll get working.
Do you need anything?
Yeah, actually, if you could reach.
I will help you. I will help you. Let us. What did you have in mind?
Yeah, actually, I want to talk to you anyway. Do we have another tent somewhere we can set up a bench? Or...
The front flaps of the tent are thrown open, and several guards enter carrying a stretcher with one of the Antherians on the stretcher. The wounds this man has are definitely not caused by any sort of ailment as far as wound or toxin. This man has obviously been stabbed and injured previously at an earlier point, given the soiling of his bandages and the condition that he's in. Looks like he had a fight quite a number of days ago and has fled a long distance, given again the amount of dirt and such that's upon him. Tarquin, you immediately recognize one of the scouts that has been placed along the Traders Road that would lead directly from Greenspan down here to Granitegard. One of the scouts that should be looking out for the approach of the Concordian's army.
Oh no.
And he seems a bit delirious right now. Obviously, the infection from his wounds are hitting him. The healers look at you. They're like, "Do not. This will kill you."
Intake one more.
They look directly to you, Tarquin. Like,
Allow me.
No, you can get me up. Me.
No, Exodus, you must not. This is too much.
I cannot allow him to die. You know it is easy to bring me back.
Mary, you can act as they're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk up and do spare the dying,
Mhm.
and I also like to use my channel divinity to give 25 hit points.
As she does so, Exo, you're very keenly aware of the wings that pop up behind her as she invokes this. Like a set of angel wings, she's bringing this divine magic down. And it's only long enough for the prayer to be active and the wounds to begin to heal themselves. And as the prayer chant stops, the wings fade away. She has certainly been touched by something from the other side.
Exotaurus would struggle to kneel down and attend one of his men.
The man's eyes flutter open. The delirium has left. He's still in a weakened condition, but you can tell that he'll definitely pull through, especially with additional medical care. My liege, I'm the last of our scouts. We did not. They attacked us like they knew where we were. They knew our position. The army is coming early, and it's not 10,000. At least 25, maybe 30,000 soldiers, and they will be here 6 to 7 days. They, I believe that we were purposely misled on this information, but they are on their way, and they are well equipped. We are good, sir, but I don't know how long we could hold off, even if we do take Newtown. But being out here in the fields will be cut down like weed. We have to take that town, sire, if we are going to have any chance of surviving this.
Your Majesty. She will kill you if she finds you.
You speak of my sister?
Let what remains of us lead you in victoriously into Newtown. Take it while we can. That is the only way to ensure your safety. Safety of your kingdom. And the innocence there.
So, please, I may be speaking out of turn here, but we have barely 500 men, and most of those are not your soldiers. They're carpenters, they're servants, they're armorers. Will be massacred. Did you get that mushroom?
If I may, it appears Damon has something to say.
There's another army coming. My army. So.
What?
I will be able to assist Vaughn just fine. My army works in the shadows. Armor does not matter with them.
Your offer is a noble one that I can appreciate. Now, let's just say that recently I've come to understand that sometimes it is better to let others help you. And in this, we can do. Let us find this, we can aid you in yours, get you in fighting shape, so that you may see the dawn come after the fight. So your troops can see the dawn come after the fight. Does that sound reasonable?
What say you?
Not much to be said in the face of a king's order.
I issue no proclamation here. I invite you all to make the decision that is best for us. And I think in this situation, this is. We will be back as soon as we can. Full face looks over to Yip Yip.
I want you to know she's already like pulled out her notebook and she's in like a map of the city, modified, and she's like quickly like mapping out the fastest pathway she can from here to exactly where they need to go. But it kind of gets vague after the King's Wood because she's never really been into there.
A lot of trees.
Well,
classic wood.
Question. Vaughn, we gotta get you your old house, right?
The grotto is located beneath the King's Wood, so you wouldn't actually have to even go into the castle and on the grounds. It's just right next to that. So, in theory, you could avoid any additional trouble within the castle.
How close is it to the castle?
The grounds of the King's Wood are adjacent to the castle, but the grotto entrance is to the south of the south side of the King's Wood, right by that big pond lake that we had talked about when you all were heading over by the library. It's in that area.
Well, it's a long shot here, but I never even got inside the walls, but all kings and monarchs and folks had all kinds of fancy accoutrement, I imagine. I don't suppose you had inside your castle keep anything like a teleportation circle. Quick escapes or go visit, but you need the other end of it.
like with like a coy wryness to him. It's like, Reverend, I'll remind you that nature of which magic was looked upon.
Yeah, but the rules don't really apply when you're the king. Come on.
Yeah.
It's good to be the king.
You can't bamboozle a bamboozler, Vaughn.
You don't recall a portal, and you seem to think that if there was one, people would have been using that to escape the castle rather than what your nan had to go through to get you out.
So where on the list is install escape portal?
It is much higher than I think my predecessors had it on their list.
I mean, like before or after forgiving library fees.
All right, well, my feet,
The library fees are important.
my feet are getting tired, so I just thought maybe I'd save us a little bit of a trip.
Well, you
Think of
didn't
cardio.
save us the trip back.
Oh, I can't cast that.
Oh,
I can.
It would be nice on the
then
way
she
there.
can save us the trip back.
Hey, Echo, we still left that trap there. And
Yeah, I was
we're
thinking
kinda
about
running
that.
out of time on that.
Yeah.
I think we've got about. This is a 10, and I'm gonna walk outside. I don't know.
I could probably go now and meet you guys on the road. You guys are really easy to track. And he looks at Reverend in his new suit.
Yeah, but like,
It has rhinestones on it, by the way.
Just that giant onesie with rhinestones.
It's a
it's
jumpsuit.
fast.
Forgive me.
Can you like squirrel? No, I know.
I would
Yeah,
offer to
actually, I kind of don't need to sleep as much anymore, so I could probably go in the night.
Would offer to fly
Why
along,
would you?
but I
Sleeping's
really
fun. Why
don't know
would
how
you
to
want?
use these.
Who's to say?
Because when you sleep in a tree, you might fall off.
I don't know. Keep your secret.
You are welcome to rest in my camp, but the accoutrements do not fare as they usually do.
Surprisingly enough, you all feel rest and revitalized, as if you'd had a long rest.
By the way, this probably goes without
Golly.
saying, but do not drink the mead.
Oh,
This meat?
Don't worry, I got my own.
Oh, great.
All right, what is it? Can I have like 20 minutes? Gildan and I gonna try to help out, and then I'll be ready to go.
we could just take a minute and sit and.
Yeah, you.
I think
Figure that
I think I need to patch up my the back a bit.
George starts coughing blood.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be
time
gone
to rest.
for just a little bit longer this time.
He hands
Damon.
the toilet a bottle filled with a brown
not
liquid.
drinking it.
Don't let Vaughn do anything.
It's not a
I'm
healing
gone.
potion,
I'm gonna be
but it might make
more
you
than
feel
30
better.
seconds
Heals
this
the soul.
time. I did the tent. I don't know how structurally sound it is. I'm just.
Is that the
a little worried
brandy?
about
This
it.
is own decisions.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
get your hand
So,
in drink
um,
or something.
We need to
So
trust him.
Extorus looks back at you and
I
goes,
do trust him. I just want to be here when he's doing stuff.
Then that means we need to let him go.
but
If you love
my
my
abilities
I don't just say that.
They hinge upon the declaration.
I think I need some time.
Take of such things for the next time.
Hardly.
But thank you.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Could I try something on you?
Excuse me, you're working on your.
Yes, after you. Yeah, we'll
Go
go
to a
out. I'll
separate
take it.
tent.
Yeah, we'll go back to Gildan's tent.
All right. While you all are doing that, what are you doing, Mary?
If Extorus is okay with it, I want to try casting heal.
As Mary steps up, I'll kind of just put a hand out. I've seen this before. This is his toll. He'll pull through. He may be in pain and he may have great discomfort.
It is the cost of saving lives at the brink of death.
What we need to do is focus on what's ahead of us.
If you can cast heal, save one of my men. They are all of equal import to me.
Mary, you look out. There's somewhere close to 2,000 people out there.
You are not it.
It's Mary. You can only heal one of them, but if you do that, then that could be an inspiration to the rest of them.
Did Ariel partake?
Surely.
Who amongst these enlisted men is a leader, a bright light? Okay, but like, what would be the next one in line after that?
That's slightly different.
We're all
The wattage.
The 11.
It's like an efficient one.
All right.
Anything
Well,
you can do.
people.
I will figure it out. Because you know what these men also need, I think, is a little inspiring music.
Think maybe the mushroom, but sure.
Well, we're staying here for like 20 minutes.
So,
Let me do my set.
as the
and then
Reverend
I'll come
Barry
back.
hacking up the plans at 20 minutes each, what have you and Gildan created there?
I'm going to create just a couple of those cure-alls. If the mushrooms that I'm using for these are somehow related, it stands to reason they should help somewhat, if not a cure, at least somewhat of.
How many are you able to make?
I'm able to make a ton of them, but I'm only gonna make 3.
So between you, Mary, and Gildan's assistants out there, you all do some good to some of the members of the camp, which does begin to spread like wildfire, that there is hope. And so this is where we're going to wrap up this evening, as our party then begins to head out of the camp for the evening, on to their next adventure within inside the fallen city of Granitegard. We'll see you next week.